Hello guys, welcome to another video of mine. Today I wanted to show you how to cold start, taxi and take off in the A-18C Hornet. So let's get started. Alright, before we do anything, let's check on the map. So there we are at Kutaisi. So let's check Kutaisi. Kutaisi, its tower has a frequency of 263 megahertz AM. Right, and we are probably going to take off from runway 8. This means the runway, this end of the runway is heading towards 80 degree, while the other end of the runway has a heading of 260 degree. So those are the meanings of these two numbers, right? So let's get started here. The first thing you need to do is to switch on your battery like that, and after that you need to switch on your APU, which stands for auxiliary power unit. It is a small engine that is completely separate from the main engines, which sole function is to start up your main engines. So let's start our APU here and wait for it to run as indicated by a green light lighting up. Okay, our APU is running. Because it's quite a bit noisy, I'm going to close our canopy. Before I close the canopy, you want to switch on your oxygen generation system. With this switch, you switch this on, and you can now close the canopy. With this switch here, you hold that until the canopy completely shuts. Okay, it is completely shut now, so I can let go of this switch. Right. Now, after this, you want to switch on your right engine, and you want to switch on your right engine first because the right engine powers your avionics, right? And you switch on your right engine by turning the switch to the right, like that, and you wait for your right engine RPM to go to 20%, like that, and you move up or you unlock your right engine throttle with your right shift and home key, and you wait for your right engine RPM to go to 60%. Right, it has now reached 65.
Roll left, roll left. Flight controls, flight controls.
Don't worry about that. Okay, we can now switch on our displays. The left one here, our right MFD or display. Let's wait for those to switch on. Right, and our center display using this knob. Right, like that. And of course our HUD using this knob. Okay, perfect. After this, what you want to do is start your alignment process for the INS, which stands for Inertial Navigation System. The INS is an independent location tracking system for your aircraft. It doesn't require any information from outside, and it tracks your position via that reckoning through sensors in your aircraft. And because we are on the ground and not on a carrier, we need to switch this knob to the ground position to start our INS alignment process. So let's do that. And now we can switch our radar also to operational. Don't worry about microwaving your ground crew, because the radar knows it is on the ground, we are on the ground, and it is in silent mode. Right, those two are done, and you can see the INS has started aligning, and this quality and with some numbers next to it is counting down, and when it reaches 0.5 we have finished our alignment process. Okay, that's it, we are finished. It is so very quick. So we can move this INS knob to navigation like that, and the INS alignment indicator has vanished, it's gone now. Right, after this we want to show our FCS display, and we have a lot of access here, and you want to get rid of all the access, and you do that by pressing this reset button here, and that is done. And before we do anything else, you need to switch your flap setting to auto like that, and it brings all your control surfaces to their neutral positions, 0 degrees. And we have to conduct our control surface testing, and you switch on this button here. There's a button on the right side panel, it's called the FCS bit switch, and you have to hold that together with this button to start your testing for your control surfaces. And the shortcut key for that right side panel switch is Y. So you hold Y and switch and hold this button and press this button. As you can see, your control surfaces are moving by themselves. And now the testing has finished, right? And we can now contact the tower. Kutaisi has a frequency, its tower has a frequency of 263 MHz AM. So we input that 263 MHz AM, and we contact our tower using right alt and backslash key.
Kutaisi 411, request startup. 411, Kutaisi, cleared for startup, wind 077 at 3 meters per second.
Alright, we have been given clearance to start our left engine now, and we do that by turning the switch to the left like that, and we wait for the left engine RPM to go to 20%. and we unlock our left engine throttle using our right alt and home key, and we have to make sure the engine RPM goes to 60% and it will stabilize between 63 to 65%, like that. Okay, now that's done. After this is done, you want to set your flap setting to half in preparation for takeoff, like that, half, and you want nothing but 12 and 30 on these numbers, 1 2 3 4 5 on these 10 numbers. You want nothing but 12 and 30, and we still have 20 here. And to fix that, you use the trim button here, press that, and now we have nothing but 12 and 30. Don't worry about the APU, it shuts itself off automatically once we have both engines running normally, right? So we are now quite ready to go. Okay, we arm our ejection seat here, and we get rid of the flight stick using backspace and switch on our ECM using this switch, using this button here, like that, and turn this knob to standby. And for our dispenser, chaff and flare dispenser, we switch this switch to either on or bypass, and we bring back our flight stick again with backspace key. Alright, for takeoff, the right display should be our HUD, while the right display should be our FCS. Right, okay, that's it. So we are now ready to take off. We have to uncatch this attitude indicator by rotating on the wheel here, like that. Okay, okay, so we now ask for taxi clearance. We contact the tower again.
Kutasi 411. Request taxi to runway. Forward 11. Kutaisi, clear to taxi to runway 8.
Okay, we have been given clearance to taxi, and now we can release our parking brake, and we have to make sure that our nose wheel steering is on as indicated by the text NWS here. If not, we have to switch it on using the S key. To switch that nose wheel steering off, we use the A key, like that, and the S key to bring it on. Okay, so we are now ready to taxi, right? But a few more things to do. Before we taxi, we need to switch on our taxi light or landing light to on, and because we are going to take off from the ground, we need to set this hook bypass field, uh, hook hook by hook bypass switch to fill, like that, and we have to make sure that our anti-skid system is on. Now it is on, and this one is off, so we have to make sure it is on, and that's it. We can now start to taxi. Just push on the throttle gently. We do not want to be too fast on the ground. To steer on the ground, we use the Z and X keys. And the runway is ahead of us. Before we can turn in onto the runway for takeoff, we need to ask for takeoff clearance. So we stop short of the runway here. And when we apply brake using the W key, and we ask for takeoff clearance.
Kudasi 411, request takeoff. 411, Kutaisi, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.76.
Alright, now we have to align our aircraft onto the runway. And we cut throttle and apply brake. Right. And we have to switch off our nose wheel steering. Do that by pressing A. And that's it. Now we are ready to take off. Do final check. Make sure that our flap setting is set to half. Right. For takeoff, you want to pull gently on your stick once you have reached 130 knots. And you have to return the flap setting to auto and retract the landing gear before you reach 240 knots. Right? And for today takeoff, I'm going to use afterburner takeoff. So apply the brake using the W key and go full throttle until the afterburner kicks in, and then let go of the brake, and once you have reached 130 knots, pull gently on the stick, and that's it. So let's get started here. And you want to cut throttle down, as afterburner is very fuel thirsty and you want to switch off your strobe light. The strobe lights are the lights on your vertical stabilizer. Switch that off, and now it is off. And that's it. That's how you cold start, taxi, and take off in the FA-18C Hornet. The FA-18C Hornet is the most advanced aircraft currently in the game, and I don't think the F-16C could beat the FA-18C Hornet in DCS because the FA-18C can carry many more air-to-air missiles as well as air-to-ground munitions. You cannot beat an aircraft with 12 air-to-air missiles, basically. Oh, before we finish, to switch on your joint helmet-mounted cooling system, you turn this knob all the way to the right here, and now your helmet will show you your airspeed, your altitude, bearing, G, your speed in Mach, and your maximum G. Right. The Hornet is a very easy aircraft to fly because it comes with a fly-by-wire flight control system, just like the F-16C. And this means you are not flying the aircraft. The computer flies the aircraft for you. And at the moment, I'm not touching or holding my stick, and the aircraft maintains its attitude. And if I now intervene by banking to the right and let go of the stick, the aircraft will still hold its attitude and will continue banking to the right until I intervene and correct that. And if I bank to the left now and let go of the stick, the aircraft holds its attitude again until I correct this again. So it's a very relaxed way of flying an aircraft. It reduces pilot fatigue very much. Basically, you're flying the Hornet and the F-16C just as you would be flying a gaming aircraft. It is that easy, it is that stable. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you for watching.